If you're trying to sign clients for your agency, then do not do cold outreach. It is officially dead. Whether that's cold DMs, cold emailing, or cold calling. None of it really works anymore. It's extremely saturated, and everyone has got fed up of opening spam emails or answering phone calls to people trying to pitch their service. They don't want to do it anymore. So, in today's video, we're going to be explaining why cold outreaches are dead and also what you guys can do instead. So, more specifically than cold outreach is cold calling. A lot of you guys that first start your agency, or you might have a few clients under your belt, you tend to try and do cold calling to sign more clients, right? So there's two main problems to doing cold calling. The first one is it doesn't have a very good success rate, okay? It's very, very rare that you get a high percentage of calls that you do converting into meetings. So usually when people start out to do cold calling, maybe every 100 calls you get a meeting if you're lucky. It took me 700 cold calls to book my first ever meeting. But you do eventually get to a point where it's about 20 to 30 calls. Well, every 20 to 30 calls, sorry, you actually sign a client. However, the chances of them then having to show up and then them having to convert on that call is pretty slim. The problem with cold outreach is you're essentially, let's say you've got 100 people in front of you. You're shooting a gun and just hoping that you hit someone, right? That is literally what cold calling is. And what about if there was a way where you can have a system where every time you shoot the gun, you hit someone? Well, I don't know why I use that analogy, but you hit the target, right? Every time you shoot a football, you score. If we could build a system that has that in place, then we have a very successful system. And that is exactly what I'm going to show you guys later on in this video. So yeah, going back to the cold calling side of things, look, you have a very low success rate with cold calling, okay? You actually spend more time speaking to the gatekeepers than you actually do the decision makers. So if you don't know what a gatekeeper is, this is essentially someone that's their job is to handle the phone, like a receptionist, something like that. Now, 90% of times, these guys just try and swerve you off the phone, right? They're not actually interested in what you have to offer. They don't try and put you through to a decision maker. I'm sure you guys have been hit with objections like, oh, he's in a meeting at the moment, or he's actually not in the office today. Objections like this. Well, these are all just excuses, right? And actually, these gatekeepers, like I said, their job is to just swerve you from actually calling. Then you're just hoping the business you call up has a problem that you can solve. Like I said, going back to that gun analogy, right? You're just shooting and hoping that you hit someone or you score a goal. It is such a slim chance. Okay. And problem two is it's very time intensive and unscalable. Now, realistically, one cold call, if someone answers and they entertain your conversation, even if they don't book in a call, it's usually about a 5 to 10 minute conversation, right? On average, I'd say, including people that don't answer your calls, you're looking at spending about 1 minute per call on average, okay? So it's very, very time consuming. You do 100 calls in a day, that's almost 2 3 hours of your day taken up solely on cold calling. And it leads us back to that question I asked earlier. What if there was a system that we can implement which isn't very time consuming, and every person that shows they're interested has a problem that you can solve, okay? Now, and then also finally, you have to realistically perform a discovery and a demo call. So the problem with cold outreach, and specifically cold calling as well, is you can't really do a one call close. You can't really just get someone off a cold call onto a meeting and try close them. The reason is you haven't built up enough rapport, and 9 times out of 10, sorry, their pain point isn't actually that strong. So they're not that asked about going ahead with it unless you're an extremely good salesman, which, to be honest with you, if you're starting out your agency, you're not going to be, then it's going to be very hard to actually try and get some closers with a one call close. So you usually have to do a discovery call and then a demo call as well. So, however, I do want to note that if you have zero clients, you should be cold calling, okay? Cold calling isn't completely shit, but is it the best method of outreach? Is it the best method of scaling and signing clients? No. But when you have £0 in the account and you're just starting out, and you're not spending time on fulfillment and success, client success, then yes, you should definitely be doing cold calling because you have nothing else to do, okay? So make sure that if you're watching this video and you have zero clients, then you need to be cold calling. Now, if you do have a little bit of money, in place, then maybe what we can actually do is swap your time for your money. Okay, so rather than investing time, we're going to be investing money, and that's one of the things that we can do. Now, these are the two main ways that you can scale an agency: time or money. But I 100% say let's use money over time, because money can help you scale a lot quicker than time. And the way we do this is through an inbound system. Okay, so you might be thinking, well, what is an inbound system? And this is something I'm going to be breaking down a little bit later on in this video. But apologies. Essentially, you are running ads, you're running Facebook ads for yourself, you're then collecting information from people who are interested, prospects who are interested in your service, and you're then booking them into a sales call. So there's three main benefits to an inbound system. Number one, every lead that signs up wants and needs your solution. Okay, so effectively every time you take a shot, you're landing, and the reason being they come to you. And that's the beauty of inbound. With outbound, you have to go out and try and find people that want your service, and you're chasing them. Inbound, they come to you and they ask to work with you. And from a sales call perspective, that puts you in an extremely good position that you can leverage, because you have the power there. You're not trying to beg for someone to work with you, they've came to you. And that's such a good position to be in. Using that leverage, you can charge more as well for your clients. For signing your clients. So the second reason is it's pretty hard to not turn profitable with the right guidance. It's like anything in life. If I asked you if you started football training today and you started shooting practice, in 1 year's time, if you did shooting practice every single day, are you going to become a better shooter or a worse? And obviously the answer is you're going to become better, okay? And it's the exact same with running an inbound. At the beginning, you aren't going to be profitable, obviously, right? You have to invest money before you actually see a return. But the more and more you do it and the better you get, the more and more profitable you're going to become. And you guys have to remember that. One, these clients are retainers, okay? So let's say it costs you £400 to sign a £500 a month client. Obviously, that's not very good, right? And at Client Capital, we would get such better results than that. Usually for every £100, £150 you spend, you're signing a client worth £500 to £1,000 a month, by the way. So such a good return on investment. But let's say even in this example, you spend £400 and you get £500 a month client. Well, next month, if they continue with you £500, you're at £600 in profit. Obviously, like I said, that isn't amazing, but it's just an example of, even if you're extremely bad at running your inbound system to begin with, you can still see results. And that's one of the beauties of an inbound system for a recurring revenue model like the agency model. And then finally, one of the other beauties of it, and every time I say this to someone, they never believe me, but it's extremely true. Like, it's probably even less than this, but it can be maintained with 30 minutes a day max. And realistically, some days you don't even need to touch your inbound system. Obviously, this is excluding sales calls, okay? But you can easily run an inbound system with very little work. Now, what I always recommend to someone, and if you're watching this video and you think, shit, this is me, then listen to me when I say this. If you have a 9 to 5, okay, and you're extremely busy and you don't have much time in the evening and you want to start an agency, the best thing you can do is sack cold calling out, sack cold email, sack all cold outreach, and just purely invest into an inbound system. Spend £10 a day and you will eventually see results, as long as you do it with the correct guidance and expertise, okay? So how does the actual official inbound system look like? Well, it looks like this, plain and simply. Obviously, there are like more steps to it, but I just wanted to break it down simply for you guys today, so that you guys can go away and get started with your inbound system. Obviously, guys, if you do want help with creating an inbound system and seeing success pretty much within a week or so, then do click on the link in the description of this video and book in a call with us, because we can help you get started extremely quickly. We've done it with many guys inside the group, where within 5 days we've had someone sign a $1,000 a month client. I think 7 days, $1,500 a month client. Just extremely good results, and we can help you guys do the exact same thing. But essentially, the official inbound system looks like this, okay? There's an ad, you guys run ads, whether it's videos or photos, kind of up to you. And then you run the ads to an instant form. So if you don't have a website, or you don't know how to make a website, you don't even need one. And that's the beauty of an inbound system. And this is why, if you're just starting out, you can just go straight to running an inbound. You don't need a website. Don't worry about that. You run an instant form. You collect their name, their phone number, their email address. And then at the end of it form, you basically ask them to book in a call with you. If they book in a call with you, that's fantastic. They skip straight to the bottom. If not, that's not a problem. That's where the automations and the setting call comes in for you to be able to try and book that prospect in to your calendar. So with the automations, essentially what we want to do is add value, but also try and pitch, well, CTA a call, okay? So when I say adding value, we want emails and SMS reminders on things like FAQs, so questions asked about your service, right? An explanation about what your service is. Maybe if you already have experience in case studies, then we can have emails breaking down your case studies, breaking down your previous experience, just basically trying to give that prospect more incentive to book a call with you, or if they've already booked in a call with you, to actually want to turn up to that call and also be in that mindset that before they jump on a call, they already know they want to work with you just purely by reading the emails you sent them and reading the SMS messages that you've sent them. Rather than them coming onto the sales call with a discovery mindset, thinking, oh, I wonder what this is about, is more a mindset of, okay, I know I want to go ahead with this and let me jump on a call. And that is the beauty of the automations that we have at Client Capital and we teach you guys. And then we have a setting call. So if someone hasn't booked in a call, we do a setting call to try and obviously get someone onto a sales call. If they've already booked in a sales call, then we still do a setting call to try and qualify them and build that rapport ahead of the sales call to ensure that they show to the actual sales call. Now, I do actually have another video that explains this in a lot more detail, which I will put here for you guys to click. I recommend you 100% go and watch that and really understand, okay, well, how does the inbound system work? But to conclude, guys, that is why cold outreach is dead. We have a low success rate. It's time intensive and it's very unscalable long term. You can't be cold calling 3 hours a day because I promise you, you will get bored. It's happened to me. It's happened to Dan. It's happened to pretty much every guy inside Client Capital who's starting to see success. So we need to swap cold calling out with something. And the way we swap cold calling is through an inbound system, because rather than trading time now for clients, we're going to trade money, especially if you have a 9 to 5 or if you've started signing clients and you want to reinvest into your agency. Well, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put it down in the comments below. If not, please give this a like, please subscribe and share this to whoever you think this might be useful for. And yes, I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next video.